Hey everyone, welcome back. This is the ROLINC Recruiting Roundup. If you don't know by now, this is where we give you some hiring and recruiting trends, insights, and anything else that we can bring to our clients in the market. And I have our lovely CEO of ROLINC Staffing, Adrian Dominguez, here with us. I just had to admit he was right before we started this video, and I
Because
think it might have been recorded.
I said right off the bat, I said this is the best start to any video we've ever recorded because Jasmine said, "Oh, you're right," and then she kept going. She said, "No, no, 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 wait, let's go back. What was that?" And yeah, so let's get going. I love
I
this.
shut
This is
off the
great already.
recording, cut it out. Never happened. No, but thank you, Adrian, again for joining me. Last week, as Adrian said, interview prep. It's similar to painting. If you're taping up the baseboards and everything ahead of time, you got way less of a mess to clean up. There's so much less mess. So many great candidates you may be missing out on if you're not prepping ahead of time. This week, we're going to continue that prepping before you get into the interview process. The big points we're going to touch on is salary transparency and overlooking those underqualified and overqualified candidates.
Right.
So let's start out with the salary transparency. Adrian, I know this is
Yeah.
something Colorado's been dealing with for a few years now,
Yes.
but tell us your thoughts on salary transparency and how it can make or break getting the right people in the door.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Jasmine. Appreciate it. So, if you're in Colorado, you already have to do it legally. I think this kind of goes beyond the scope of the borders of our state, though, because we work with Jasmine. You work with clients that are in the state of Colorado and outside both. And I don't think it's just Colorado. There's a few other states that do this. But it's creating a ripple effect where essentially you're seeing a lot more immediate response from job seekers when they know what kind of, which I don't know how else to say this. It's kind of like a duh moment. Like, why would you even question this? If you, and especially in a tighter labor market, again, yes, there's been a lot of layoffs. However, there's an extreme high level of volatility in the market. And what that does is it creates a lot of hesitation to want to leave your current employer. So if the people that you want to engage with are actively working, and here's a shock, they know what they're making right now. They're probably going to be less inclined to want to engage in an opportunity if that's not announced up front. It's like, what do we actually want here? We want more engagement. And if we want more engagement, the more that we can show them about the opportunity, and there's so many layers to that. There's culture, there's the growth opportunities that exist within this job opportunity. And these are all things that do matter to me, but I also need to know that I can keep the same lifestyle or have the opportunity to grow financially. The less transparency, the best way I can put it, the less that we are open about what the opportunity entails, I think the less engagement you're going to get.
I totally agree. And it comes down to time for both sides. Time is money, time is everything. And you're wasting your own time when you're not putting a salary on there because the one thing that usually stops an interview dead in its tracks.
Yep.
I'm making 100,000 and your top range is 80. I'm not taking that pay cut because they're going to ask. I mean, think about it from a candidate point of view. Now it seems almost a little sketchy
Yeah.
if you're not putting a salary on a job. Why aren't you?
Right.
If it's meeting the market expectations, they're going to think there's a reason for that. So yeah, next we're going to talk about an interesting one. And don't get me wrong, there are obviously underqualified and overqualified candidates. We get them all the time where it just doesn't make sense.
Yep.
It still happens, but there are those people in between. When I think as recruiters, especially, we talk to them because we've started to realize not everyone knows how to show
Mm.
the best experience on a resume
Right.
or really talk about what they've done that they may not even know relates to
Right.
this role they're applying for. So, what are your thoughts on overlooking those candidates
Yep.
and how maybe we can better understand that experience or at least give them a chance if they do meet most
Yep.
qualifications?
Absolutely. Appreciate that, Jasmine. You're right. You reference the fact that sometimes people are really good at what they do, but they're not great resume writers.
Yes.
So that's challenging because your first impression is the resume. But I would say this, the same way that some of our clients are phenomenal at cutting and making widgets.
Right.
Um, but but there's a learning process to becoming good at interviewing. And
Yes.
it's literally the same thing, but inverted on the job seeker side. And we're kind of, as partnering recruiters, you kind of get the
Yeah.
panoramic view where the company's really good at what they do. They may not always be good about marketing themselves. We want to help with that and bring to light ways we can do that better for them. And the job seeker might be the exact person that you want in this role, but they're not a marketeer and they don't know how to present themselves. I think it's those folks that are in this, I would call the gray area. They're within reach, but your first thought is, I think they might get bored. I think one of the things that we have to do is go, okay, what what are the things that we actually want from this person from a character standpoint? Do they have the skills? Whether they're overqualified, they have those skills plus
Right.
some. But do they have the character qualities we're looking for? Keep in mind the goal is to make more of the right engagements. Do you know
Yeah.
why they left their last job? Do you know why they're looking to leave their current job? The questions they're gonna answer whether or not they'd get bored. They might, but
Yeah.
we don't know that yet. It's so weird because Jasmine, you just mentioned this earlier. What have employers done for years? Go through 3 rounds of interviews and then talk about salary. If you want to talk about a time suck, that's the time suck. It's
Right.
it's not taking the 10
Right.
minutes with a candidate up front and going, I'm not so sure, but I really think we should still give this person a call because they're still within range of what we're looking for and they might have the character qualities we want. This is much less of a time suck than the other. And for some reason, for decades, it's been so much easier to go, let's just keep this conversation going and then we'll talk about salary later. It's strange how the psychology, I guess, of this whole
Yes.
process.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say that the same goes for underqualified. I think we're seeing it pretty much in all areas right now, but for years now, we've seen it in the trades where it's like we don't have time to train. Well, guess what they're doing now? They're training, and they're becoming a lot more open to people that maybe took a class at a community college at a VOTEC school, and the market has kind of forced employers to consider something that, in my opinion, it would be something that would have been smart to invest in years ago. And I guess better late than never. But the idea is, hey, are people going to want to come to a company where they know that if you've got the raw character qualities and you are a culture fit and you've got the raw skills, you have the foundational skills, not that you don't have any skills, but you got something that we can work with, that we're willing to invest to take you to the next level? I think there's a whole lot of people that would take, the time to consider an opportunity like that versus a place where they know it's just a meat grinder. They're going to chew you and spit
Yeah.
you out.
Oh, yeah. The people that are gonna stay are those ones that feel like they're being truly invested in, and you're giving them skills that they wouldn't have learned somewhere else. Another thing you said that I think is important is back to that prep of the interview and knowing how to interview. There could be
Right.
one question in an interview that's your make or break, but it's not translating that way to the candidate side. And right then you could lose out on who knows how many great candidates because you just didn't ask the right questions.
Right.
I think that's what's cool about what recruiters can bring to the table. We are doing this so often that we're digging now for those people
Yeah.
that maybe don't have it on their resume. And we
Yep.
know those questions to ask to pry the right information and the right, experience
Yeah.
out of them. So it's kind of cool to have that filter. So,
Right.
yeah, I appreciate your thoughts today. This has been another good chat.
A lot of
Any
fun.
last words to add to that?
Yes. I really enjoy doing this with you, Jazz. I think there's so much that um recruiting can become a lot like an autoplay. Like you just hit the button, you go, okay, I'm gonna post, and you have to stop and ask, where are we trying to go? I appreciate being on and hopefully we could be a help to someone out there.
Thanks again, Adrian, for joining me. I
Absolutely.
am, yeah, super excited to have you on board with these videos and giving your insight. I know our clients love it. Our team always loves learning more from you. Again, this is Adrian Dominguez, our CEO of ROLINC Staffing and Search. My name is Jasmine Weber. I'm the Director of Marketing and an Executive Recruiter here. If we can ever help you guys on the staffing search side, or if it's just giving you insights into make your hiring process run a little bit more efficiently, drop us a message. If you just want to give us some ideas on our next ROLINC Recruiting Roundup video, let us know, and we're happy to chat about that next time. Yeah. So thanks again.
Absolutely. Thank you.
We'll see you guys. Bye.